Welcome to episode 3 of the Escaping Normal podcast. I have Toby Harris here with me this morning. He's an exciting up-and-coming entrepreneur in the health and wellness sector. He's the founder of DXB Sports Massage, working with some of the world's largest athletes, CEOs, and entrepreneurs. Welcome, Toby.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. This is actually my first proper sit-down recorded podcast, so I've been looking forward to it.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Amazing.
Saturday morning. I've not had my coffee yet, but I'm ready to go.
Well, dude, thanks so much for coming through. I know you just came back from holiday, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just in Lebanon. Yeah, amazing. If you haven't been, 100% recommend to go.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there quite a lot going on there with Lebanon and like Israel at the moment? That's quite a unique place to choose to go on holiday.
I think it's maybe a sensitive topic at the moment, but I'm not shy about talking about those types of things. But it was a drunk trip. My housemate booked a flight after one of the England football games for Euros. And we woke up the next day and 3 of us had flights to Lebanon. So the date came around and we were like, all right, sweet, let's go. So we were there for a week, Monday to Sunday. There was an attack that happened there on Thursday when we were there.
Yeah.
We were having a drink in one of the nightclubs in town whilst it was going on. And it happened literally like 5 kilometers away.
Really?
But we didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
The city was like normal. Western media completely misportrayed everything that was going on. It was completely different to what the news was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody came up to me and my friends because we obviously don't look Lebanese.
Yeah.
Why are you guys here? Are you scared to be here?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're in the same bar and the same beach club as you guys. So it seems fine, right? But it was amazing. The people are amazing. The people are friendly. The food is good. They know how to party. They make you feel welcome. I'd recommend.
Yeah, I heard Beirut's a good party. Right?
They like to party. And we went to a place called Batroun as well, which is in the north.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I guess, Spain's Ibiza, like Lebanon's. It's where the locals will go for their like summer beach holidays and stuff. And probably a part of the world that not a lot of British people will go. So it was really cool to go there and be involved with the culture.
So in terms of sort of controversy, kind of like on that topic, right? And everyone has their own sort of views. Now, what are your views on the situation that's going on between Israel and Palestine?
Honestly, I don't have a lot of views that typically I talk about. And it's a question that I get asked a lot. Anything prominent that's going on in the world, typically in the news, I get asked about it a lot through my clients when I'm at work.
Yep.
So I have a sports massage business where we travel to our clients' homes, offices, hotels, whatever.
Yep.
And I work with a lot of interesting people and they get down on the table and there's always talk of the table. Like what's 100%. Talk of the table today or talk of the table this week. And a lot of the time it's what's going on politically or what do you think about the election or what do you think about this? I ask people on the table, well, what do you think? And I let them tell me and I gather other people's information rather than kind of formulating my own opinion on those types of things.
Fair. You know, like I think of that. There is no right or wrong sort of like answer, you know, sort of my opinion, I guess I'd say on it is I don't think what either side is doing is right, but I don't think you can judge as individuals, like a collective on what a few people sort of follow. Like, you know, you wouldn't say you're not just because you're German doesn't mean you're a Nazi, right? Yeah. Just because you're Muslim doesn't mean you're a terrorist. Just because you're Russian doesn't mean you're a war criminal. So, you know, you can't now sort of say that now just because you're part of that religion, you're part of that country, now you believe that what's going on there is right.
Exactly. And I think also a lot of people formulate their decision on an Instagram post that they read or a TikTok video that they watched or like a newspaper article that they read in The Sun or a tabloid. So a lot of people formulate their opinion on probably some unjust or incorrect media anyway. So what's going on in the UK right now? I don't know if you've seen the riots in the UK and everything that's happening.
Crazy.
But my understanding is that it came off the back of a young man attacking a dance class full of children and some of the children were murdered. The teachers and nearby adults that came in to help them were injured.
Yep.
And it turns out that this man that decided to do this wasn't Muslim, although the media portrayed that he was.
Yep.
And after they said that he was a Muslim, the people started going out and rioting, setting fire to mosques, flipping over cars of Muslim households that live nearby, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the moment, a lot of prejudice and a lot of group generalization.
100%. Well, that's why I think we find ourselves here in Dubai,
Yeah.
right? Best city in the world, in my opinion. What's been your thoughts on? Because how long have you been here for?
I've been in Dubai 7 years.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
7 years.
you a lot more than most that I speak to. Yeah.
It's definitely changed since I got here. I love it. What a city, man. Great. I'd moved here. I actually moved here for a kind of change of pace in life.
Yeah.
So I had a business back in the UK. I had a sports injury company in the UK.
Yep.
And it was doing pretty well. I had a couple of venues across the like the eastern, what side of the city was it? I had a couple of venues across the south side of Edinburgh.
Okay.
One of the venues looked at people's running style, and we checked their gait and we gave them orthotics and insoles.
Yep.
Another venue was in a more affluent area with elderly people, so we did a bit of chiropody and sort of foot healthcare. Cool. And then I had another clinic that was just on the outskirts of town that dealt with people that did like mountaineering, skiing, outdoor sports. But I was young, and I was then trying to build a team and manage staff, and I was arrogant and ignorant and thought I could do everything myself, and I was managing the company, and I was treating my own patients, and I was ordering things, and I was doing maintenance, and I was doing rotas and everything that other people could definitely do better than me. But I thought I could do it all.
How old were you at the time?
I was 24. I started the business when I was 21, and then it grew. And I was 24 when I kind of decided that I couldn't really do it anymore. But I was a high-level athlete. I've competed internationally for 3 sports.
Okay.
For athletics, track and field, and rugby. Sorry, athletics, track and field, diving, and rugby.
Got you.
And so I've always been interested in sport. That's what got me into my job. But I was a coach as well. So I was doing my business, my sports injury businesses, as well as coaching diving. And I started to love that. That was my passion. And I started to veer more towards the coaching route rather than being a podiatrist, being a physio, doing healthcare.
Yeah.
And off the back of the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, I got offered a job here in Dubai coaching. So I sold the physio business and moved to Dubai to be a sports coach. And that's what brought me to Dubai 7 years ago.
Amazing. Well, just sort of touching back, you sort of started that business kind of at 21, you kind of said bit of a shit show. You were kind of here, there, everywhere. But I guess that's the thing with entrepreneurship, right? You just gotta start and you figure it out. And all those lessons that you probably learned from then, your business now is a product of being able to learn from all of those.
Yeah, 100%. So my first business was with a few university friends. Yeah. So I like everybody, when I was at uni, I liked to go out and party. Yeah. I was also an athlete, so I didn't party as much. But when sport became less interesting and girls and going out became more interesting, my direction switched. And I started like figuring out, how can I go out more? How can I go out? I was a student, right? So how can I go out more, but maybe not necessarily spend the money and so on. So I started doing PR. And handing out flyers and making guest lists on Facebook. People said my name as they went into the nightclub. Yeah. I used to get £1 for every person that went into the nightclub that used my name. And after a while, my friend Alan and I, we were making like good money because we were doing it almost every night of the week at different student nights. We just made friends with the guys that run the nightclubs. We said, hey, can we put a guest list down? We'll bring people from our student union. We'll bring people from our sports teams. We'll bring people from the uni. And we started to get paid £20, £30, £60 every single night of the week. Okay. And then we thought, we can do this ourselves. So then we spoke to a nightclub. We made some flyers. We took it out on a Thursday night. We came up with a name and a concept. Yeah. We got the hot girls at university to hand out flyers with their name on it, and they got £1 for everyone that came through the door.
So now you were doing at the top, and then
exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that was kind of the first business or a bit of entrepreneurship that really got me into it. And then through my university degree, we did a lot of work with the NHS. Yeah. And I think it's a great, great service. I'm not slagging it off at all, but as I was doing my degree and I was doing my placements and I was doing my work experience, I did not want to work in that system. I did not want to work at the NHS. Also, I'm very sports and performance driven. Yeah. The NHS is more of a healthcare service. There's not really a stream for what I was interested in. So it made sense for me when I was doing my degrees to finish and do my own thing and stick with what I was interested in, which was mostly sports injuries. So whilst I was at university, that's actually when I started the business. I became qualified after my third year. So my university degree was 4 years.
Yeah. What did you study?
Podiatry and lower limb medicine. And then I added physiotherapy on later down the line.
What's podiatry?
Foot and ankle medicine. Basically.
So why that?
Why feet?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
People ask me this a lot, like, and especially when I was doing the course. You studying feet? Have you got like some sort of fetish or whatever? Bro, if I had a foot fetish, I would not study podiatry because it would make you fall out of love with feet.
Yeah, you're right.
Man, because the stuff you learn is disgusting. Yeah, you learn about,
Fungi
sorry for
and
anybody
all of
that's going to
that.
watch this. Yeah, you learn about foot fungus and you learn about ulcers and abscesses and you learn about toenail conditions and all that kind of stuff. Man.
my feet.
and then you're there cutting the nail. Like, as a student, you're there with a mask on, cutting the nails and dealing with old people's hard skin and stuff.
Oh,
Bro,
no,
if you had a foot fetish, you would not study podiatry. So I actually got into studying feet because maybe a lot of people will resonate with this. I didn't really like school. I didn't really like studying. I felt like the system wasn't quite right for me. I loved going to physical education. I loved doing PE. I loved playing football at break time. But the actual schooling system and the things we were learning, I wasn't interested at all. And actually, functionally, when I come out into the real world, not a lot of that has been applicable.
Yep.
So I didn't enjoy school. I've completely lost my trail of thought. We'll cut this back.
Yeah. So you basically, you're saying sort of when you studied, you didn't like school.
Yeah, it's not coming back to me.
Not coming back. Well, dude, that, to be honest, that was going to be sort of onto my sort of like next question. Obviously, you've been super entrepreneurial from a young age. Entrepreneurship has sort of been sort of in your blood and is what you've been thinking of. What were you like as a student?
So at school, I thought I was good, but I was a last minute guy. Like there's an exam on Tuesday, so it's Monday night and I'm studying. Like that's how it was for me at school. Some stuff stuck in my head, and some stuff didn't. Like I cannot tell you the name of a song, the name of an actor, the name of a movie, and I can't recite you the lines in that movie. But some people can remember these things, and for me, I don't think they're relevant. So some of the topics at school, as I was learning them, I didn't think it was relevant. So it just never stuck in my head. Whereas if you teach me a phrase in another language, like I'll remember it because I think there's some sort of life application. So I'm very good at languages and very good at learning things that way. So I think the schooling system for me, if I didn't see the relevant application of it in my life, it was really hard for me to learn. I wasn't motivated to study. And then I was super into sport. So when I finished school, I was playing soccer in the street with my friends, or I was going to the athletics track to train, or I was going to the swimming pool to do my diving and my gymnastics. So I wasn't interested in opening a book and learning algebra. So as a student at school, I wasn't so hot. We were talking about what got me into feet. I remembered. I digress. We'll go back to that. But when I went to university, I was studying something that I was interested in. All of a sudden, it had application to what I wanted to do. And so not only was I a good student, but I was an excellent student. I was in the library all the time. I was doing extra reading. I was doing extra listening. I was doing extra learning. In fact, I was a terrible student at school. I didn't get the grades to do what I wanted at university. So I took a gap year where I was working full time. And I was working in a running store that watches you run and tells you what type of footwear you need depending on your gait and how your feet move.
Yeah.
And that's what got me into my podiatry and my foot and ankle degree.
Got you.
Not my grades at school, and not that I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I needed some money after school. I got a job. It was in something that I was interested in, sports and running and stuff. And then through that, I got into my podiatry degree. So I was interested in it. I wanted to learn. And I became an excellent student learning about something I like and learning about something I was interested in and learning about something that I could apply to, I guess, my life.
And it's actually, it's quite interesting that is you find with a lot of entrepreneurs is they're some of the hardest working people, yet at school, you know, they were probably some of the most distracted. I was always the class clown. I was a proper recluse at school. But there's a quote which sort of says that you're not tired, you're uninspired. And I felt like at school, I just wasn't interested in what I was learning. But the moment I was interested in something, it was like all that energy and all that focus could be on that. And I could really, really excel on that. And I think you find that with a lot of people. And just in your case now, I feel like that was the case.
Yeah, 100%. So exactly like you said, I was also a bit of a class clown at school. I was more interested in sports or daydreaming or having a laugh with the person next to me. And then at university, I loved what I was studying, and I didn't have the grades to do physio at the time. So I said to my lecturers, can I do the physio parts of the physiotherapy course? We were shared. We were in a health school. So a lot of our subjects were the same. Physiology was the same. Some of the anatomy modules were the same. Biology and pharmacology, all of these things, they were the same in the first couple of years.
Got you.
So as we got through my degree, and I was acing, I was like the top of my class in many of my subjects. So I said to the faculty, can I do some of the physio modules? Essentially, I've done half of the course anyway. They don't do joint degrees, but they said, yeah, you start doing the study, start doing the reading, start earning the credits. If your grades drop in your major, then we'll pull you out. And the grades didn't drop, but I was super into it. Actually, one of my favorite memories of university is there's a lecturer, I won't name him, but we used to bash heads. And I think I did lots of extra reading, and I'd had lots of practical experience in the running store. He was a biomechanics expert, a movement expert. And I was very arrogant back then though. I was pretty shit hot at that too. And so anytime we had a lecture, I would question him, or I would maybe challenge what he'd say, or I would say, hey, what about X, Y, Z instead of A, B, C?
Yeah.
And we always used to bash heads. And then one time we had a guest lecturer at the university, lecturing to the entire health faculty in Edinburgh. And it was on biomechanics, barefoot running, footwear, the change in the running shoe industry, all this kind of stuff. For me, super interesting topic. Anyway, I walk into the lecture hall. It's full, 300 students, all the lecturers. And I go up to the computer and plug in my USB stick. And the lecturer who bashed heads with me a lot, he came up to me and he said, Toby, what are you doing? Sit down. Any of the work that you have to do now, do it later. Then the head, you can see what's coming, huh? Then the head of the health science school came in and said, guys, we have a guest speaker today talking about all of these things, biomechanics, footwear, and so on. You all know him. It's your class member, Toby. And I was doing the lecture for the school. Crazy. That was one of my favorite memories at university.
Amazing. So cool. So you did that, you got your studies, you set things up in Edinburgh, and then you were like, okay, cool. An opportunity came up after the Olympics in Dubai, and you moved across. Now you said, 7 years ago, Dubai is a different place. I've heard 3 years ago, Dubai was a very different place. What was Dubai like 7 years ago?
7 years ago, Dubai it's coming a bit more back to how it was, I would say, but certainly off the back of COVID, people were not less friendly, but it was certainly harder to integrate. Okay. Like when I first moved to Dubai and you went to brunch, now when you're at brunch, you're at a table. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're with your friends, and maybe after a few drinks, you'll start to integrate with some of the other tables. Yeah. Man, before COVID, it was wild. You would go to brunch, it really didn't fucking matter what table you were at. Can we swear on this podcast? Sound. It didn't matter what table you were at. People were pre-drinking before brunch. You would pre-drink before you went to brunch. You'd get there and you would interact with everybody straight away. It was a really, really cool expat community straight from the get-go. Yeah. I think people were a bit more open to speaking to other people and integrating more. I feel like Dubai's still a city that's like that. Yeah. And it is a huge networking hub, 100%. But it felt somewhat easier in those social settings back then. For me, when I moved to Dubai, it was also a different place because I was in a completely different position in terms of my employment and financially. I moved here to be a sports coach. I was a business owner in the UK. Yeah. I sold my business and moved here to live within my means here of what I was earning here. And I was teaching children how to do somersaults and acrobatics and gymnastics and diving into swimming pools. Yeah. Sports coaches typically at that level don't get paid very much. Yeah. So life for me was different. I had to really budget. I had to watch what bread I bought. I had to eat noodles and tins of tuna and salad. And I had to choose which night of the week I would go out. And there were times where there wasn't enough money in my bank account for me to get an Uber to go out and meet my friends. So I wouldn't go. So like life for me back then was really different for me, like life for me now. Yeah. In Dubai. So the city was different for me because I couldn't fully go out and explore it and I wasn't living that Dubai lifestyle.
Dubai is really one of those places though that, you do need money. You need money to properly enjoy Dubai as much as it is, like Dubai is a city that is as expensive as you want it to be. You can be cheap, but if you really want to get that proper Dubai experience, it's not cheap.
No, you do need money depending on the life that you want to live, and if you want to have all the bells and whistles. I mean, I'm very fortunate. Like I've worked very hard, but if I want to go out at the weekend, I have a nice car. I'll get in my car and I'll drive somewhere that I want to go. I'll sit at a beach club. Like, I have a nice lifestyle away from work. But at the moment, like you see those things, but I work 16-hour days. Like I think I might have said to you the other day, I'm tired, man. I went to bed at 2 and I got up at 6 because I was working. And a lot of people are like, what are you working on? You do massage. Yeah, but I'm also running a business, so I see my clients, and then I get home, and when everyone else has finished work, I'm now on my laptop and I'm wearing my accounting hat or my admin hat or my marketing hat or whatever. So yeah, the lifestyle is great if you work for it. A lot of people think they can come to Dubai and just make money. You can. You have to work hard, and it's also not just about working hard, because I guarantee you there's a receptionist in this building, or there's somebody working in the corner shop down there selling snacks, and they probably work hard because they know that their visa depends on it and their family back home need it. But so working hard often isn't enough. Sometimes you need to have something else about you, whether it is an extra bit of knowledge, whether it is personality, whether it's building rapport, or whatever it is. Hard work's not enough to come to Dubai and make money, but you need to work hard in order to do that.
What are your thoughts on that, and how you can separate yourself, get that sort of competitive advantage? Because you say lots of people out here, everyone's working, a lot of people are working hard, but now that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful. Now,
100%.
What are your thoughts on personal branding in the world we're currently living in today?
I think it's important. I don't do a lot of it personally.
Why not?
I can make excuses. I'll put it down to time. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time doing a lot of other things. I've read the 4-Hour Work Week so many times. I should really start implementing some of those things and outsource more. And that's what I learned actually leaving my company in the UK and starting a company here. Was I was trying to do everything back then. Now I am very much more experienced in delegating and trusting and finding the right people to do some things for me. But at the end of the day, when it comes to personal branding, a lot of that has to be you and yourself, because it's about you. So my excuse would be maybe time. Also interest. Like I personally, I don't care that much about how flashy my Instagram looks or whatever. But I think it's important in order to grow what people think about you in terms of being reputable, or does this person know what they're talking about? Do they seem professional? Is that the type of person I want to work with? Do they have the type of culture and beliefs that I align with? Like, is their epitaph the same as mine? So I think it's important. But one of the other things I think is important that a lot of people get sucked into is, let's make a sexy social media. Rather than grinding on the business in the background. Like, cool, your social media can be a representation of some of the things that you're done or you're doing, or you want people to think that you're doing. But also work on your business and let your results and your business and your staff and your turnover do that talking as well. And recently for me, I've been doing a lot of working on that rather than pushing personal brand.
100%. There's no point in a lot of people, you're going to push this personal brand, but if that is not really you, and it's not really how you act, and it's not true, you can see straight through that. And the problem is, the moment you meet someone that's, let's say, portraying this whole personal brand, that this is their value system and everything, and you meet them and they don't represent that, instantaneously, you're just going to lose that trust. They're going to lose all of that credibility. And, I think personal branding in this day and age is so important, because it's so competitive, the markets that we live in. How do you differentiate yourself? How do you show your value? Right? A lot of people think personal branding is sort of about trying to be famous, but personal branding, it's about being seen. It's about being known. It's your credibility. It's your reputation. We live in an online world. It's essentially who you are. And, you look at any sort of Gen Zs or millennials, they're all people moving into positions of influence and power. And you know what you think? What's the first thing people do when you go for that job interview or you request that networking opportunity? What are they going to do? They're going to look at your social profile, and unless you align with their interests or some of their values, it's going to make your life a hell of a lot more difficult to try and get those opportunities if you don't.
Yeah. So to stand out or to be valued in my industry.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. So how did the whole DXB Sports Massage start?
So I moved here to be a sports coach. Fast forward to 2.5 years, COVID kicks in. And all of a sudden, the schools are shut. The sports facilities are shut. The gyms are shut. No one's doing anything. We're at home watching Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm coaching through a screen. I've loaded up my laptop. Everyone's logged into Zoom and I'm telling people to do sit-ups and forward rolls in their living room.
Yep.
It's a little bit different from coaching Olympic athletes. So I needed to, one, find something that stimulated me again, and two, make some money. Like my pay wasn't very high as a coach anyway, and then it halved. I was really struggling to get by. So I had a massive network in Dubai because I was a social butterfly. One of my other jobs in Dubai was running and managing brunches. We can talk about that in a minute. That was a fun time when I was in my youth, more in my youth in Dubai. Anyway, I needed to make some money. My revenue had dropped from my coaching. And so I started offering through my network on Instagram some sports massage and some physiotherapy. Now, there's a barrier to entry for physiotherapy here for a lot of people. They think they need to have an issue or a problem and then go see their doctor, get signed off for their 5 sessions on their health insurance, and then come to you and get their physio. But dude, do you want a massage? Yes, everyone wants a massage or a sports massage, right? And there's such a gym culture here in Dubai, and people care about how they look, and fitness is a huge thing. Saudi are bringing more money into sports. Like, it's an unbelievable hub for health, fitness, aesthetics here in Dubai. So it was really easy to get my first 11 massage appointments. So in January 2020, through my social media, I started offering some massages to my friends, and I did 11 of them. Then in February, I did 60. Then in March, I did 90. And then we had our lockdown in Dubai where I think it was about 6 weeks we couldn't leave our home.
Yeah.
The first month after lockdown, I had 150 people booked in for sports massage. And I thought, wow, there's legs to this.
Yeah.
So I completely quit my coaching job, started doing this mobile massage business. Now, 150 in a month is a lot. I was doing 6-7 days a week.
Mate, your hands must be
they're good, man. I don't get pain.
Really, eh?
I was doing 8-9 sessions a day. Like, I was doing my first session at 6:30, 7 a.m. And I was finishing my last session at 9:30, 10 p.m. I was coming home. I was falling asleep with my clothes on. I was getting up, having a shower and doing it again. I was doing it like 5 days, 6 days, 7 days on the bounce, 20 days, 30 days.
Yeah.
Just seeing clients back to back, back to back. But I burnt out. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
I was getting stressed because I had lack of sleep, but my bank account was looking sexy. Yeah, I had more money in Dubai than I'd ever had.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this is crazy. So
yeah,
I wanted to capitalize on it more. I was getting burnt out. My requests were coming in thick and fast. And so after maybe a few months of this, I registered the company.
And was that just through word of mouth?
Completely word of mouth. The whole business to this day is still like 99% word of mouth. We throw out some ads every now and again.
Yeah.
It's the summer now.
Yep.
It's a bit slow.
Yeah.
We're doing a little bit of ad work. I actually stopped it recently. But yeah, we all word of mouth. So the first 4 or 5 months where I went from 0 clients to 150 in a month, it was completely word of mouth. And I think that's how you stand out in Dubai, going back to your one of your questions. In Dubai, people talk.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you do a good job, people like you, and you're good at what you do, and you talk the talk and walk the walk, then people will refer you.
It's actually so small. Dubai's tiny.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone somehow. So like you said, if you're just good at what you do, that referral business can go.
You're good at it, you work hard, and people like you or you're likable, then you can be successful here in Dubai. So the first 4 months I progressively got busier, registered a business, and then started hiring people. And people have come in and gone out of DXB Sports Massage. That's life, that's business. And I've learned from every single employee that I've had that's come in and gone. Some have gone amicably, some have not. And again, that's business, that's the way it is. But every single person that comes in and leaves or comes in and stays, I've learned from, and it makes it better for the next person that comes along. So now we have a team of therapists that travel around the city, which is awesome.
How many?
How many therapists?
Yeah.
4 full-time and then a few part-timers.
Amazing.
Or freelancers that come in and help us out. We do a lot of events with a lot of major sports teams. We look after a lot of teams at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. We look after the racing drivers at the Le Mans 24-hour and sometimes the F1. We look after a lot of UFC fighters when they come here to fight. We get some really cool opportunities, some really crazy clients.
How do you get those opportunities?
Again, I think it's word of mouth. Like I worked with Usain Bolt in 2020 for the Expo. There was a 10K. And so I looked after him after the 10K at the Address Hotel.
Yeah.
And again, it was through word of mouth. People in the industry, they need certain people to do certain things. Hey, we need a guy that does sports massage. We need a physiotherapist. We need someone to come to his hotel. And your name gets out there if you do a good job. So by working with people of this caliber, you then become a name amongst other people of the same caliber.
100%. They refer their friends, they work with you. And like you said, I'm sure after a good hour's sports massage, you probably have some pretty good conversations with people. You get to know them and naturally you've kind of built those relationships and it's all about your network, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And my network in Dubai is super strong, super interesting mostly because of my job. So I'm quite expensive if you want me for an hour. And we're a more expensive massage service. Everybody in the team is British or Western or trained in the UK.
Yeah.
From a sporting background. They're overqualified for sports massage. Mm-hmm. And all we do is sports massage. We stay in our lane. Mm-hmm. We find one thing that we make sure we're the best at. We don't diversify. We don't offer anything else. It's just we do sports massage.
No happy endings, eh?
Only sad ones, bro. So I've actually got some interesting stories about that we can talk about. So I'm thinking about happy endings now. So I'm expensive. And so you start to get an upper echelon of client as well. Like to get into my diary, you must commit to a block of 10 or 20 sessions.
Yeah.
That's not cheap. You got to hand over 10,000 dirhams, 20,000 dirhams to get into my diary. And so these types of people are often very interesting. Like there are some celebrities and some CEOs and some YouTube influencers that I work with on a daily and weekly basis, millions of followers.
Yeah.
Really cool people. And they refer me to other really cool people and other really cool people. And then that is now my my network of clients, but also friends. So it makes living and networking in Dubai really cool.
That's so interesting. It must. Now you've sort of opened that picture up. You must meet some really, really cool, different people.
Yeah,
definitely. You know, what was it like working sort of with the Usain Bolt? You know, when you work with what are these? Because I've actually never really met. I don't think I've ever really met anyone like famous. You know, like do you find do they have this kind of like aura and feel about them, or only maybe in the beginning, and then once you get to know them, you see they're just like any other person?
Almost all of them are like everybody else. Some of them, they wouldn't be comfortable with me talking about their names and things like that. But yeah, I meet some really cool, really interesting guys. Probably one of my favorite clients to work with. I've been working with him for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's been really interesting to see him grow as well is Iman Gadzi. So the first time that I met him, he was 21. And
for those that don't know, who is he?
So Iman is an entrepreneur, an influencer, I guess an empowerment of young males. He does a ton of YouTube. He does a ton of education content online. He does a ton of charity work. He's got a drinks company. He's got a clothing brand. He's got a sunglasses brand. Mostly he is selling education, marketing, media, that type of stuff. But he's got many, many businesses. But he's, I think, 24 now. I met him when he was 21. And he's a multi-millionaire, hundreds of millions, I would assume. Very, very, very successful guy. And very successful from the day that I met him all the way to now. And he's just continued to grow. But he's super humble, super down to earth. I was very impressed. Like when I left his house for the first time, I was like kind of in awe of the questions that he asked, the way that he put himself across, how humble or modest he was.
Yeah.
And then after doing a little bit of like internet digging, because I do that with almost all my clients.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, this is a really impressive young man.
Yeah.
And him and I have continued to work together. I see him once or twice a week when he's in town. And it's true. He gifts. You see it on his YouTube. I'm sure he gifts watches. He actually, this watch I'm wearing, he gifted me.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So he's a really cool guy. I get to meet people like him. Another client of mine who, he's not massively famous, but he's becoming more flamboyant and out there in Dubai, is a guy called Matt Haycox.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd like to have him on the show, actually. He's another millionaire from the UK.
Yeah.
A successful entrepreneur, successful businessman. And he's just very characteristic. He likes pink things. His missus has a pink G-Wagon. He's got a pink yacht, that kind of thing. And so he's super cool. But having people like this, they introduce me to other people that are just like that. And being in Dubai and around those types of people, it helps me improve as well. What's also super cool is some of these people, they may be charged for they may be charged for a consultancy call. Maybe it's 5,000 dirhams to have a 30-minute call with this person. They pay me to have the same conversation. They're just face down on a massage table.
Yeah.
And I'll ask them the business questions.
Yeah.
And I get the free advice from these successful people.
That's for me what I'd say would be so awesome about that is you like you said, you've got an hour and the thing, you're having good conversation. You probably learn a hell of a lot from these people. Yeah.
One of the most successful and interesting men was a man called Francois, and he used to be the CEO of AP, the watches.
Oh, yeah.
And he gave me some useful nuggets of information that I implemented in business and instantly saw a result from. So having these type of clients to network with has been invaluable for me in terms of business growth.
Can you share a golden nugget? Do you think of what's a bit of advice that you've got from one of these people, which you think for any aspiring entrepreneur, anyone that's maybe is an entrepreneur, what bit of advice?
Everything's worth a cup of coffee. For sure. Like if somebody says something that you might be interested in, or maybe you might not be interested in, but somebody you know could be, say yes, have a coffee. Your time is valuable, but if you can weigh up what that time or that coffee with that person might bring, then have it. For me, everything's worth a conversation. Everything's worth a cup of coffee. And it's through experience you learn when to say no as well. Sometimes you don't need that cup of coffee. It's a waste of your time. But certainly when you're new and you're starting out, say yes to lots of things. Think about it. Don't say yes to it all. But everything's worth a cup of coffee.
And that's the thing with Dubai. You never know. I call Dubai the startup capital of the world. And you just got the most incredible people all from all around the world. Everyone's so like-minded. I find driven, and you just never know where an opportunity might take you. And you'd be so foolish if someone said to you, "Listen, let's meet for a chat. I've got something," or "let's just meet up."
Yeah.
If you don't take that opportunity, you never know where that might go.
And it's really cool here in Dubai running a business and trying to be successful, because so many other people here are trying to do that too. And what's different to here than where I'm from, or even the UK in general, if I start talking to someone in the UK, or if I ask somebody about something, they might be like, "Why are you talking to me? Why am I going to tell you that?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?" Whereas here, people will be like, "Oh man, let me give you a leg up. Let me help you."
Dude, it's crazy.
I know someone that does that. Let me put you in touch. I put somebody in a group chat this morning, and already they've signed a deal this morning. So like, it just doesn't happen like that where I'm from. So it's cool. Everybody here wants to help each other out.
And that is a really crazy thing about Dubai, and like the culture here. Everyone is so keen to just help everyone. When I moved because I lived in London for a couple of years, and man, you just didn't get that. It felt like everyone was just wanting to look after themselves. No one actually wanted to see you win. But here in Dubai, I just get a completely different feel from other entrepreneurs. I've met many through LinkedIn, just meeting for coffee, and almost every single person I've ever actually contacted to meet for coffee has met with me. Top CEOs to, new up and coming entrepreneurs, they're all keen to come and just have a chat.
Yeah. But I think at one point, someone that comes to Dubai was in your shoes. Like, it takes a certain type of person to move to Dubai, or move to this culture or this part of the world where maybe there are some preconceptions and some stipulation in your home country. So it's a certain type of person to up and leave your hometown anyway. But then to come to Dubai, to come to the Middle East, again, maybe another different type of person. And lots of people come here that are very driven, and maybe they do work hard, but they can't hack it and they leave. But the ones that do dig in and do stay, and you're here digging in and staying, that's your type of person. And it's very much more easy to resonate with that person.
Yeah.
And if you see somebody doing well, certainly for me, it's inspiring. I either want to do well to compete, or I want to do well so that I can be alongside that person. And so that's one of the things I love about Dubai, is the culture in terms of helping and succession. And there's enough people here for all of us to be successful. Like, there are people that have come into my company as team members, and then they've left, they've gone to start up their own thing. Great, I love that, because it's more fuel for me. It's competition, which is great. I come from an athletic background where competition is what drove me forward. Like, if I don't have a sports competition to train for, I get fat. I don't go to the gym. If I ain't got somebody else doing things and trying to steal clients or whatever, then I'm not gonna maybe work as hard. So it's a massive driving factor, and I think a lot of people that come to Dubai and are successful are all very similar people, and that's what drives the whole city forward.
So where now to for DXB Sports Massage, right? Like, what is your vision? Because, you know, it's going really, really well for you. You look super happy. You're meeting with incredible people. Now, what's the plan?
So there's a lot happening, actually. We're going big.
Okay.
DXB Sports Massage is our mobile business, where we have a team of mobile therapists. We travel to your home, your office, your hotel. And that's continuing to grow. And we're continuing to onboard new therapists to be mobile, to move through the city. It's a quiet time just now in the summer, but from September moving into February, March, that company is definitely going to grow more, because I know how the trends go, and we're going to shoot up. Something else exciting that's happening is I have another business called Recovery Rooms. And we are recovery centers, so saunas, ice baths, stretching, sports massage.
That's big at the moment. It seems to have blown. All of a sudden, there's a flipping ice bath and a sauna, and now all of a sudden,
huge,
for recovery,
man.
it's huge.
I have another business as well called Recovery on Demand, and we're a sauna and ice bath rental business. So you can rent them. Let's say you don't live in Dubai all year round. We'll come and put a sauna and an ice bath in your house for the month or 3 months or 6 months. Or if you're a fighter and you're here on a camp, and you're in a hotel for 12 weeks, we'll put a sauna and an ice bath in your hotel room. Like, we do all that kind of stuff. So, or maybe you don't know if you want to buy an ice bath. Maybe you don't know if you're going to enjoy it. We'll give it to you for a week or a month. If you want it, you can buy it. If not, continue to rent it or what have you. So that sauna and ice bath company is going pretty well here in Dubai. Like you said, there's a massive trend for it at the moment. It is technology and training methods that have been around for decades. But it's just more accessible now. People know more about it. It got onto social media. It picked up on a few trends, and so people know about it. Just like phones never used to be. We didn't all used to have a mobile phone, never used to be accessible. And then the technology becomes less expensive. It becomes easier to mass produce. There's a bigger understanding for it. Somebody cool gets one, and then it explodes. And it's just what's happening with ice baths at the moment. So going back to DXB Sports Massage, the spin-off of that is our in-house facilities, recovery rooms. We're a mobile business. We've been going to your home for the last 3 or 4 years. People asked us, can we come to you? Where's your place? Always, every day we get asked, where's your center? I opened one last year, February 2023. And I shut it in December 2023. So it was a business that went up and came down. And that's also life, like running a business as well. Sometimes you launch something, it rockets you into some debt, and then you have to fold it and start again. And exactly. And essentially that's what happened for us last year. But off the back of that, you learn a lot. You have some takeaways from it. And also in those 11 months that we were open, I made some connections, and like I said, I learned a few things. I implemented them moving forward, and some of the connections I made in that time and some of the things that I learned in that time by setting up and running that clinic pushed me on to the new opportunity, which we have, which we haven't officially announced anything yet, so I won't say whom, but we're opening a string of recovery centers all across the UAE. We're going into Saudi. The builds have already begun. So we're opening in Al Ain in 3 malls in Abu Dhabi, in downtown, in Motor City, in Silicon Oasis, in Al Quoz, maybe Bur Dubai. We're opening in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Daman, Jeddah. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things coming, and it's all gone. The build has started. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for it. So we're gonna have saunas, ice baths, stretching, sports massage. We're gonna have male and female therapists in almost all of the centers. So it's a huge growth.
Massive.
Yeah, huge. So we're gonna be hopefully by January pushing 10 facilities.
That's exciting.
Very exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been working on it for a long time. The owner of the business that we've partnered with, I've been speaking with him since July last year. So we've been working on this for about a year. And now it's starting to come in fruition. I have a new member of staff flying in from New Zealand on Monday to start work. We've sent out a ton of job offers. So yeah, things are happening. We're looking at company formation in Saudi to start the Saudi facilities. So that's, yeah, it's super exciting, and I've been working really hard towards it. And
yeah,
I feel like I tell people this a lot. I feel like I'm swimming upstream, or I'm like treading water with a weight vest on. Like, it is hard, but it's going to be worth it soon. The weight vest will come off and I'll start swimming with the water.
Well, I guess, nothing good comes easy. You got to just figure it out. I'm sure, and for anyone sort of listening, I'm sure when you've been on this journey, it's not something where you've got this roadmap and you know exactly where you're going. It's been a matter of just plugging away, just doing what you can and figuring it out how you, like, along the way, right?
100%. And sometimes you want to just pick up that map and say, fuck this, and like scrunch it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
And like even a few months ago, I felt the same. Like, why am I doing this? I would make more money if I just fired everybody and started doing my own thing again, and then invest that into some property portfolio and then just sit back and relax. Now, I know it's not that easy with property as well, but this is some of the thoughts you get in your mindset, right? Business is hard. Working with people is hard. More people, more problems, but also more people, more reward as well. You just need to learn how to start working with those people, and more managing yourself rather than managing people. I don't really like the term, you need to learn how to manage people. Yeah. It's more about, you need to learn how to manage yourself, to work alongside the people that are part of your team.
So obviously you've got a lot of sort of growth happening. It's a lot of stress, What do you do to be able to manage that stress?
So we met in Doha, in Qatar, for High Rocks, right? What a race that was. We both had a really interesting weekend between us. You had the most inspirational 100 wall balls I have ever seen. I'm going to send this to Jake's to post on this cut, so that you can see what finishing 100 wall balls means when you do your High Rocks race. Unbelievable. It meant a lot to him. It pulled on my heartstrings.
Let me tell you, that High Rocks it's not a joke. It's tough, man. You're in some pretty fucking serious shape. I'm not going to lie for that.
Oh, I was shredded when we went to do that. I was ready. And that's how I get my stress release is training and going to the gym. So we met to do High Rocks. And like I said earlier, if I don't have competition, I don't thrive. Yep. I had nothing to train for. So I was not going to the gym. I was not exercising. So I did a challenge called 75 Hard. And then off the back of 75
What is that?
Hard, 75 Hard is a challenge that is 75 days long. It's free. Andy Frisella is the guy who created it, andyfrisella.com, or type in 75 Hard on Google. It's a 75-day challenge where you follow 5 rules. And the rules are to take a progress picture every day, to drink a gallon of water every day, to read 10 pages of a book every day, to exercise twice per day. Each session must be 45 minutes long. One session minimum. One session needs to be indoor, one session needs to be outdoor.
Okay.
And the 5th rule is to stick to a diet. And it has to be, a proper documented diet. Mine was to cut out vapes, to cut out alcohol. I cut out sugar, no candy, no chocolate, no donuts, no junk food, no pizza, no burgers. So I did that for 75 days. And what makes this challenge really hard is if you miss any of these 5 rules on any day, you go back to day 1. let's say you've been doing it for 56 days and you don't read your 10 pages. Day one. It's not day 57. It's day one, and you got to do it again. So I did it from the 2nd of February to the 16th of March. And I didn't falter. I stuck to the whole thing. I was really disciplined.
How did you manage that? Because that's not a joke, you know. And I've done like 3 months no drinking, and that was just that. And that in itself takes a whole lot. But for you to go through all those 5 things, how do you set yourself up mentally for that?
So for me, concentration is quite hard. I have ADHD, so like my morning looks like I'll wake up and I'll go to the kitchen and I'll put the kettle on, and then I'll realize that the laundry hasn't been done. So I'll open the laundry.
Dude, I'm just like that.
Then I'll go, shit, I need to take a shower. So I'll go turn the shower on and I'll go, I'm going to take out the laundry. So I hang the laundry up outside, and then I go, oh, fuck, I better brush my teeth. So then I start brushing my teeth and I go, oh shit, the shower's on. So then I kind of have half a shower, brush my teeth, and then I come out, I get dressed. I've not really dried my hair properly. And then I go, fuck, I haven't had my coffee because I put the kettle on. And then I go, shit, I need to leave, and I leave the house. And that's what my morning looks like a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And my work is a little bit like that as well. I'll open an email, then I get a text, and then I action the text message, and then I go, oh my God, I didn't send that payment. And then I go to send the payment, and then I see an Instagram message, and then I start to reply. Now I've got 7 tasks running. I haven't completed any of them. And so that's a major problem for me. And what helps me is exercise.
We're the same person.
Yeah.
You know, we are the same person, by the way.
Yeah, you have the same.
Dude, it's the worst, bro. That's why I live. I've got like a coach, a performance coach. And the biggest thing that we're working on at the moment is my calendar, right?
Okay.
If it's show me your calendar, show me your commitment.
Yeah.
Because that's my biggest problem. I have to put everything in my calendar, from the when I wake up to going to the shower to making my coffee. Otherwise, bro, I'm just like you. Phone will go off on that. Go do the shower thing, bro.
No, it's scheduled. I have my like, for example, my laundry. Do this task at home. It's in my diary. It's in my calendar. Yeah, and if you're not in my diary, you don't happen. You don't exist if you're not in my calendar. And I'll show you it afterwards. My Google Calendar is full of colorful blocks. It's crazy. But yeah, without that structure, typically I struggle. But sport helps me channel that a lot. And so going back to 75 Hard, I had these things that I needed to fit in the day. Yeah. And my day is chaotic sometimes anyway. So actually, by doing these things, by exercising twice, by taking time out to read, I did more things. I got more stuff done. I was more productive. I had more free time. I could go out for a coffee. I could do an extra walk. I could sit and do a task that had been putting off because I wasn't fucking around. I didn't wake up and scroll. I didn't have time. I had to get up and do my 45-minute gym session. Yeah. Then I had to make time to prep some food because I knew I had a busy day. I wasn't going to have time later on, or I needed to make time to read. So I got up and got through everything methodically because I knew I had shit to do. So adding extra things like this into my day with a bit of structure actually helped me become more effective, more efficient. I was exercising twice per day, which helps me feel better, helps me look better, helps me concentrate, expel some of my additional energy that I've had since I was a kid. And so adding these things into my day really helped. And then I'll show you some of my progress pictures. From day 1 to day 10, I had a 6-pack. From day 10 to day 20, I started getting more chest definition. From day 20 to day 30, I had bigger biceps. Day 1 to day 60, I was a potato, and then I was like a shredded, like tanned, happy looking guy. I was completely different in just 2 months, in 60 days. And I still had 2 weeks of the challenge left. So at the end of the challenge, I was like, I felt so amazing. I felt incredible. What do I do? Well, 2 months later, the High Rocks. So I had a bunch of friends. I was mega into fitness then, right? Because I'd gone into a new regime. I was 3 months of exercising every day. Yeah. I had my old gym friends from when I used to exercise. They were my friends again. And I had my gym memberships that I cancelled. So I signed up for High Rocks, started training for High Rocks. And so to escape from work, it's not even escape because I love working, man. I love sitting down with my laptop. But to help with some of the stress, I exercise. So I met you in Doha. We had our High Rocks race. Let's talk a little bit about High Rocks. How did you find the race?
Man, so obviously I was a little head above water? No, head below water.
It looked like it was under the water,
Mate,
bro.
It was well below water, right? Obviously, so I did the pros I did the pros one because the tickets ran out for the open.
Yeah.
It was tough, right? I wouldn't say, so what even got me into going to do High Rocks, I ran a marathon, just me and another mate. We ran a marathon just around in Al Qudra. We ran a couple months before. So that's kind of what sparked me getting into High Rocks. But I'll tell you what, doing a marathon, doing High Rocks, doing any of these sort of like high impact kind of endurance sports, fitness activities, I feel like they all require some sort of level of like mental strength, right? But High Rocks really does sort of push it, going through all those different sort of activities. You saw me on the lunges, little sneaky shuffle here and there through.
Jake cheated at High Rocks. He cheated.
I wouldn't put it that far, but I definitely did take a few extra steps.
I did the extra for him though. In my High Rocks, I ran some extra laps as if it's not hard enough. You guys were there watching.
Yeah.
On my last run. And I ran past you guys, I think, for a fourth time.
Yeah.
And Ross was like, Toby, where are you going, man? What are you doing? You were finished. And I was like, nah, man, I got one more. And I ran, I think in total 3 or 4 or 5, I don't remember now, but I ran some extra laps, about an extra kilometer or 1,500 meters on my race.
What do you think for you is the hardest part of the High Rocks?
I found the sled push hard because I didn't train it. I didn't train the push and I didn't train the pull. And I thought, I'm quite a good runner. I'm quite good on the machines. And I'm strong. I'm short and stocky and strong.
Yeah.
I'm going to move those sleds. And I pushed the sled and my calf started cramping up because they weren't used to that type of intensity and that prolonged work effort. So the sled push was super hard for me. And then on the run after the sled push, because I wasn't conditioned to push then run, I got cramp and I walked for half a lap. So it pushed me back maybe 3 or 4 minutes from what my projected time was. And then we kind of worked out that I was maybe going to be around about the 65 minute mark. And then through the race, I checked my watch to see, and I was at 69 minutes and I still had one run, one station to go. And I was like, how have I messed up so bad? And then when we looked back at the tapes and the timings, it was the extra laps.
But it's when you're so in it, you're so exhausted, mentally exhausted. You're almost on autopilot, when you're running. So it's super easy to sort of miss that. And man, talking about that sled push, that burn in my hammies is the absolute killer.
And
afterwards.
your sled push was heavy.
200 kilos, and I only weigh 70. At the time about 72 because I was pretty decent condition. So that's a big push for someone of my weight. But to be fair, luckily I had practiced kind of the push, but what I didn't practice was the pull.
Okay.
The pull ended me, bro. Coming from doing that push, then having to do that run, couldn't get my breath, and then having to come and do that pull.
Tough.
Absolute death of me. So yeah, I've been considering because I think there's one in Oman in September.
Yeah, so there's been if you go on the website, there's no official.
It's not official.
It's not official, but Oman, Bahrain, Saudi, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So there's a whole GCC. We could do a GCC High Rocks tour. If anyone wants to do a GCC High Rocks tour with the Escaping Normal podcast, let us know. We'll set it up.
We'll smash it. You think you're you keen to do another one?
I have to, man. I trained so hard and I thought I was going to have a pretty respectable time, and then I completely messed up the counting. I got to do another one for sure.
Pros this time?
No.
Why?
Why run before you can walk? If I'm going to ace the open and then move to pro, right? I didn't finish the open one properly, so what's the point in doing pro, right?
Yeah, fair. Rather get that down to a T. And then
exactly.
you can come join big boys like myself.
I'm going to perfect it, and then I'll join in with the pros. Yeah.
Well, listen, Toby, I've got a final question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, what does escaping normal mean to you? When you hear the word escaping normal, what does that mean to you?
I think it's about getting out of the rat race, not being like everybody else, being individual, following what you want to do. I think escaping normal, is very much following what you want, because a lot of people will go, why why do you want to do that? And lots of people are very happy and comfortable just doing that 9 to 5, getting the same house in the same village as their family with maybe 2 cars on the drive, the same holiday, maybe get a girlfriend, then a dog, then a kid afterwards. And the normal life, I think escaping normal is chasing what you want to get away from that.
Well, Toby, listen, it's been awesome, dude.
Likewise.
Dude, I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch your journey, dude. I think you got huge potential and huge things coming for you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to actually have you back on this podcast. We're going to do that in a couple of years, couple of months. Let's see. And yeah, have another conversation and see where where DXB Sports Massage and everything else has got to.
Awesome. Yeah. Can't wait. Let's do it.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks, Jake.